Yo, especially Nav. So he's having a lot of feelings about the XXL Freshman list. Went out of his way yesterday to call the magazine trash on Twitter and on Instagram, saying we shouldn't look to a magazine for validation to tell us if we're hot or not, especially one that hasn't been credible for 10 years. I would never show up for the freshman list because I don't need their approval. He took it even further, needing to post a photo of the editor-in-chief of XXL so that his fans could personally attack her. And just to prove how much he doesn't care, he even released a song called Freshman List, has an upcoming tour called Freshman List. Was this all really necessary?
Whew. That's I love all the shade you just do. and Nav. You know what? Because you're right. Nav really got at really the editor. He made it personal. It's hard to say you don't care when you put so much energy in showing that you do.
Right.
You can't say, yo, y'all made the list, fuck the list, but I'm gonna talk about the list.
Right.
It came across as salty, but I was looking at this to say, why is he saying this now? Now, he dropped the song Freshman List, and it's a pretty decent song. I'm not going to say
I like
smash
it.
nothing.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good. But now is around a time where the XXL reaches out to artists to say, hey, you're selected. When are you available for us to do a shoot?
Right.
So artists talk. What I took from all of this is that Nav probably heard one of his counterparts say, yo, I'm on the list. And Nav is probably checking his email, hitting refresh, refresh, checking the spam folder, the trash folder, and there's nothing there. They didn't hit you up.
Right.
And I think that's why he's lashing out. Nav, I fuck with him. He's down with EXO. I honestly believe Nav's style has been like almost boot ganged and ran with. Like there's a nigga named Lil Skies with face tattoos that the hoes love.
He's popping.
He's popping.
He's popping.
Yeah. Stage diving, all that. He took that shit and he created a whole career with it. And I think Nav is in a weird place because he doesn't fit with the new generation, but he is the new generation, kind of, and he's influencing them. So I understand why he might look at the magazine like, yo, you guys are slighting me. My only thing is that he's right with that XXL. I don't talk about XXL, respectfully. It's Copy Star. Unless they are mentioned in the freshman list. However, you can't make a diss song to them or diss them in a song.
Right.
Then diss them on Instagram. Then put up the editor's face and say, hey, this is the person that does it.
That's my only issue. Sorry to cut in. Vanessa's very, very good people with me. Spoke to her last week. And I don't like that. Don't put her face to it, because then the stands get involved. It might be a safety issue. Would you consider him to be a guest in the House of Hip Hop, as my good friend Lord Jamar, refers to some people? Would you consider him to be a guest in the House of Hip Hop? Nav? I mean, I fuck with him.
Yes.
As much as I can.
I want to like Nav, but for him to attack the credibility, people would call him a guest because they have issues with his ethnicity and him saying nigga at one point in time.
Right.
He's a guy.
I cut that out.
You checked him about that.
But also, for him to say that it hasn't been how old is Nav? For him to say not relevant.
He's almost 30.
He is?
He's from Canada. He's almost 30. He's from Canada. And I think he's a little reckless, but at the same time, I can appreciate where artistry is right now because they have a voice, they have social media to respond to certain things. Right. I'm not just going to take the side of XXL because I know Vanessa and Dennis Page. And
you were a writer.
What's that?
You were a writer.
I am a writer. I've written books.
Have you written for XXL in the past? We have to know.
No. I was contracted to the source. But I like the fact that artists can speak out and they can maintain their livelihoods and still have a voice.
Right.
But it's a little tricky here. Again, I just hope that she doesn't receive any very vicious attacks by way of stands.
Yeah, because like you said, so he did make some good points. It's like an artist like him doesn't necessarily need an outlet like XXL. You have your own fan base, that's cool. It's just the personal attacks seem really unnecessary.
It seems like he's hurt. Like
he's
you,
butthurt.
Like you said, maybe he might have found out that he didn't make it because he's hearing so many people I don't know, but it seems like he's hurt for all of the things that he said. And to put up the picture, it's just like, at the end of the day, you didn't have to fuck with it, but to go that far to kind of downplay on her and how she looks, and this is the person that's saying you can't get on. And
Hey, I'm going to take it one step further, right?
Please.
If because he said something that was very important, because that does happen. And I don't care if anybody co-signs that, because I know artists that have told me personally that happens, right? He said, this is a lady, and I don't agree with the personal attack, but he was saying we have to wine and dine her, and I'm gonna just say quotations around that, but yeah, you gotta show up there, you gotta play nice, you gotta play some music, because if they're picking a list, they wanna know that you're not a fucking flop of an artist,
right.
That if they pick you 3 months from now, you're gonna release some hot shit that they're gonna be like, we got the right guy, right? So you gotta play some music. He obviously, and when I was reading his caption, he took offense to that. Says, why do I have to play my music for my fans? Then I look at it and I look back and I'm like, are y'all telling me, is the issue just XXL? Or do y'all run to Spotify and do the same thing? Every time an artist comes up here and does an interview with us, they tell us, yo, my next stop is, yo, Spotify, I gotta go check in with the Rap Caviar niggas.
Right.
Y'all are checking in like Tekashi. Y'all gotta check in. Y'all gotta go check in at Apple Music. Because y'all want that playlist joint. You know what you gotta do? You go up there, shake hands, you smile, you do whatever.
You have to play the game. That's not just with XXL.
So the wine and dining shit, even though I understand, and to be honest, I'm like, yo, you're right with that, but you gotta keep it across the board.
Yeah.
Don't just make it a XXL. Don't play the game with Spotify. Don't play with Apple Music, but you won't say that to them because you want that playlist.
Well, call out every magazine if you're gonna go that far. I had an artist that made the XXL Freshmen, and I don't know everybody else's process, but we wasn't whining and dining. We had one point in time where we went up, we played some music, we didn't make it that first year. We did the work outside of just thinking that we had to keep pushing music strictly to XXL, and then eventually our work we put in with the tape we dropped, and the momentum we had, we was doing shows everywhere, permitted us to spot on the list. So I don't know, everybody might have a different process, but I don't think you have to wine and dine. I don't know, what he went through or not, but ultimately it's like this. If you don't fuck with it, leave it alone. Because as many artists that say fuck the XXL, whatever, they all want to be on that shit. Yeah. All of them.
They do at this point. I will say this about XXL, and that's why I think Nav's in a weird space. Nav's sound is still representative of the new wave of music. If it was like a super lyrical dude that'd be like, yo, I look at the last 4 lists or last 3 lists y'all put out, and y'all got a lot of dudes who ain't lyrical, they're mumble rappers or whatever. Y'all ain't really holding us down. Why do we have to jump through these hoops to even get consideration?
Right.
I can understand it, but Nav, your music is in the realm of what they do consider.
Right.
And any statement from XO with regards to his diss track or his feelings towards Vanessa and XXL? Have they said anything on behalf of the relationship or to the public?
Cash, which I believe is the manager, is that True Chops?
That is his manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw them on the comment section. Everybody was co-signing. Yeah. Again,
XO was co-signing?
Yeah, everybody was co-signing with him, and they were saying, yo, you're doing the right thing.
Wow.
My only thing is that I think this is the moment for him, but I think this moment will get toppled by when the actual freshman list comes out.
It's also hard to pick the list too, because with this new wave of rap that it seems like you could just pick up and do tomorrow with the face tats and the sound and the melody, it's like 50 artists that could be considered, and they could only pick 10, so everybody's not gonna make it.
If Nav came out and said, they offered me the list, I turned it down, that would make more of an impact. The way he kind of came out was saying, even if you invited me, I wouldn't go. I'm starting to think, nigga, you weren't invited to the party. You weren't even invited to the club. Don't tell me you wouldn't show up. But if he had said, hey, they invited me, I said, fuck no, I don't want to go. And also, if this was months ago, I know for a fact they're reaching out to certain people to say, hey, you're going to be on the list. When are you available? If this was months ago, before they even made selections or was trying to reach out to people, and he said, I know y'all are in your consideration period, you're thinking about me, fuck thinking about me, I don't want to be on your platform, I don't want to be in that fucking horse and pony race.
That's real sucker shit.
That's when I'd be like, okay, I respect it, but now I'm like, Nav, I feel like they might have slighted you, and before their list comes out, you're saying fuck them.
He might have slighted himself in a sense as well. You know, I mean,
how do you mean?
What I mean is that I'm just guessing. He could have been considered, and sometimes, because you might have not gotten the email or the text or the call, whatever, maybe he jumped too soon. Maybe he jumped prematurely. I mean, but it seems like it is a marketing plan. It doesn't seem like a marketing plan. That the song, the tour, all of that. So he's taking it and run with it, which is gonna just fuel more attention towards the XXL list anyway.
What I've seen from artists who have said fuck XXL or whatever, like we've seen Famous Dex go through the same thing. I seen Famous Dex, he was posting like snaps like, yo, I'm back at XXL, even though I said fuck it last year because I didn't make it. I love them. I'm signing shit. I'm taking pictures because you know why? He doesn't want to be on the list.
They want to be on the list.
Now, for me with Nav, and then
Good.
I think the Weeknd cosign means more than a XXL list. He should have never mentioned it.
Yeah.
When you mention it, now you look salty. Don't mention it. You're getting a cosign from a guy who's a fucking pop star.
Megastar.
Why shine light on the list, and now we're going to realize you didn't make it?
Yeah, I was going to say that I think his music is strong enough that he'll get past this and he won't need to reconcile or even, sit down and talk with XXL. I say that respectfully to them, but it's different. Again, how artists and young people can lash out, if you will, and their fan base or the people that support them can really get behind them, and it's not that big of a deal. It's not like it was back in the days of when the Source magazine was at its peak, or Vibe magazine, and you had to play the game.
Right.
If they called you in for a cover, you had to make sure that you were there for that cover shoot or for that long, interview process. It's different. So, whether we like it or not, it's how the game is played now, and he might put out another diss track. I don't know. I mean, he might really run with this.
Yeah.
Free promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just watching how XXL, The Source, and other outlets like that were very influential in the past, where people lived and died on their opinion or what they put on their platform. Watching how they now maneuver and watch how the artists like a Nav say, man, fuck y'all. It is interesting. But I would always say, don't burn a bridge until you cross it.
Where people move around in this industry, that's something you forget. They don't stay at the same place forever, all of them. So you burn that bridge now. When they work at Spotify in a few years, no one wants to deal with you.
Yeah. Imagine Vanessa fucking making playlists at Spotify. You put the Spotify on some shit like, yo, let me get my new song in there. She look like, didn't you roast me a couple years ago?
Shit like that happens in this game, man. Shit is real.
Gotta be smart.